We've all seen it. Someone starts a side hustle, gets excited, invests in tools, ads, and supplies, and then 6 months later, they're burnt out and wondering, where did all my money go? It sounds familiar. You're not alone. Side hustles are a great way to make extra money, but only if they make money. Too many people start hustles thinking they'll be swimming in cash only to realize they have funneled every dollar back into the business without making a profit. Today, I'm going to show you how to start a profitable side hustle, not just a time-consuming hobby. We'll talk about how to choose the right side hustle, how to track your finances so you know you're making money or losing money, and when to scale up or shut it down. Stick around because I'll show you the one tool that'll keep you from making the biggest financial mistake side hustlers make. So are you ready to actually make money from your side hustle? Let's get to it.
Welcome to the Financial Mirror. Where future success is reflected in our knowledge of fixing the one thing we can control, ourselves.
Welcome to the Financial Mirror, and thanks for joining me today as we continue to work to improve the one thing that we can control, ourselves. Here at the Financial Mirror, it is not about the numbers and spreadsheets alone, but about transforming and educating you on money so that you can make smarter financial decisions. If this is the first time you are joining in, don't forget to hit subscribe on YouTube to be notified of all the new episodes as they release. If you're listening on Rumble, don't forget to follow the channel and like the video. And on any podcast platform of your choice, don't forget to like and subscribe to the podcast. So everyone, welcome to the channel. We are going to talk about all things personal finance, but today we are diving into a way to boost your income through side hustles. Here's the catch. Too many people jump into side hustles and end up spending more money than they make. So today I want to break down what it takes to actually choose a profitable side hustle and manage the finances properly to, most importantly, make money with your side hustle. The difference in a hobby and a side hustle is the side hustle makes money. The hobby generates fun, pleasure, whatever you want to call it. Hobbies could become a side hustle, or let's not call it the slang term, but a part-time gig. But you don't want these things to end up draining your bank account because they defeat the purpose. The idea is that you make money. So stick around because there are tons of information that I'm going to go over, but more importantly, at the end, I do want to provide a great tool that can help you track your business finances and keep them separate from your personal to know that you're actually making money. So where I wanted to start today, before you can start making money, you need to pick out the right way to make money for you. There are thousands of side hustles. The biggest thing is it needs to work for you. It needs to work for your schedule. The hardest part is choosing one that fits your skills and lifestyle. Because remember, this is a side hustle. You're more than likely not doing this day in and day out. This isn't your full-time job. You probably still have a W-2 employer potentially that you're working for. Maybe you're self-employed and you just want a little pickup on the side. All in all, this needs to not take up tons of your time, but it needs to take up enough to where you can actually make money. So there are tons of pieces out there that can help you. The one that I was going to show you today, and I just stumbled across this as I was coming up with the show notes, but I stumbled across this Dave Ramsey quiz for what are the best side hustles for you. And it's a little short quiz that walks you through, what are some of the skill sets? What is the amount of hours that you have to devote? What do you value the most? Like things like that. And it's not going to give you, this quiz is not going to give you an exact business to start. It's not going to say like, hey, you're a great plumber, go do like side plumbing gigs. It's not going to say that. But it helps you identify maybe some of the areas that you might thrive. And that is the key component here, is that you need something that's going to work for you. A side hustle should fit your lifestyle, your skills, and more importantly, your time availability. You don't want this to start to impact your W-2 job, which probably generates a majority of your income. You do not want this to start taking up a lot of your time. So just so you can kind of see what the results are like on this, I did take it so that you could see what my results were. So results are in, and you are the professional, and it talks about how I've got talent and vision. I don't know, it doesn't know me very well, but when you put a plan to action, you're pretty much unstoppable. Okay, this is definitely a pat on the back, and it is speaking out of turn. However, here's how it breaks it out. So it breaks down these two categories: in-person side hustles, at-home side hustles, consulting, nannying, event planning, and working part-time. So kind of exploring a new career path. Those are the areas that it led me down. So one of them is financial coaching, which is something that I absolutely love. So I guess it does know me kind of well. But this is a really good little model if you're like, what are my skill sets that I could potentially make money off of? This is a great way to just start and get the brain juices flowing. The only thing you have to do is like provide an email or something to get the results to, and then it takes you to this page. It probably signs you up for some type of Ramsey newsletter or something. But anyways, it just goes through those things. Then here's some of the at-home ones. It tells me to go teach English, and it gives me this little VIP kid. Could be a great way for me to teach it. I am not a great English speaker. I have a very, profound Southern accent, and I don't know if they really want me teaching. I am told pretty consistently that I talk slow, and these kids might have a tough time learning from me. So I don't know about that one, but freelancing, great other option. Fiverr, Upwork, both great places to start looking for that and start your own business, sort of like I did with the Financial Mirror. So just a couple of different items, and it's not, like I said, it doesn't give you like leaps and bounds information about saying you are just going to do this and this is going to be your job, but it is something to at least get you started. So if you love working with your hands, maybe house cleaning, detailing cars, those might be great fits. If you're great at writing, freelance writing or proofreading could work for you. The key is pick something that matches your skills and has a demand. So now that you know what an idea of some of those side hustles are, and how they could fit to you, I want to talk about some that are out there that you could look at as potential side hustles. Now, the key here is that some side hustles are very much you driven, right? Like you need to go out and grind to get there, right? So looking at this is off of Kiplinger. This is a little side hustle article, and I'll share all these in the show notes, but 5 side hustles that can turn to full-time businesses, right? If that's your goal, if your goal is to grind this out and this actually become a business, here's 5 good ones: professional coaching, bookkeeping and tax services, professional workshops, like hosting workshops, teaching something that people want to buy into and learn, selling digital products, and drop shipping business. All of those are great options if you are looking at turning these into sustainable businesses. Now, I also pulled up, this is 25 side hustles to earn extra cash. And I brought these up for a reason. I brought these up because not all of these require tons of investment or tons of time to get started. Some of them, like driving for Lyft or Uber or delivering food and groceries, these top 3 right here involve very minimal investment on the front end. More or less, you just signing up, and you are, for all 3 of those, you're giving your time, effort, and automobile to go out and do work and make money. So none of those really require like skill, right? Like I think that I did an episode like years ago now, but I was like, how much money can you actually make? So I delivered groceries for Instacart. Man, it was a life lesson. But what I'll tell you is that you can actually make some pretty good like little side hustle cash. Is that going to be a business? Maybe people turn into a business. I think that it may be polluted. Polluted is not a great word. It may be saturated with like a lot of people now. So I'm not sure. It's been years since I did it, but it was just a quick way to kind of see how much money could you make. And all in all, made decent money. So I would tell you that it's worth looking into the groceries, the food, the Lyft, the Uber. They've really broadened their scope of what they offer, whatever those different services that they provide. So it may be worth looking into. But these are this link. So the 25 side hustle ideas. This one is all about you making extra money, but not, like I said, they could turn into businesses, but these are not driven all towards businesses, right? Really all about making some quick cash, starting it up, making some money. Maybe it's something you do for the next 5 years to get out of debt, or maybe do something for the next 10 years to pay off your house, or whatever the case is. Build up some retirement, invest, whatever it have you. But these are just some of the items, and I'm not going to read all these off, but here, teaching English again, renting your home, resell thrifted items, babysitting, dog walking, selling products online, music lessons, doing tasks for people, mowing lawns, selling baked goods, becoming an event planner, all of those things. Just more ways for you to make additional cash. So remember, there's no one size fits all to side hustles. I think that's the most important thing that I wanted to talk about in this first part, is that there's no one size fits all. Pick something that you have a skill set and a drive to do, and go after it. Go do it. If the goal is to just make some quick cash and this is just a short-term thing, you shouldn't find something that has a lot of upfront capital investment to get into it. Look for something like the Uber, the Lyft, the groceries, all of those things. Maybe some freelance work. But even that takes some time to build a business around it, right? Like Uber and all that's like plug and play. You just turn the app on and log in and whatever, and go active, and bam, money's coming in. Obviously you got to do the work, but you know what I mean? So anyways, if you love doing those things, just go out and do something. The key is to choose something profitable that also aligns with your strengths. Okay. So you got there, you went through the quiz, or you thought deep and had this reflection moment. You came up with what your side hustle is. Now, this is the key that I wanted to talk about in this episode. I wanted to talk about you're ready to start making money, but I want to talk about one of the biggest mistakes that people make. They mix their personal and business finances. One of the biggest mistakes I see with clients that I work with almost every time, if they have multiple streams of income, and preferably not just multiple streams of income, I'm going to go a little deeper, drill down one level and say multiple streams of income, and one of those incomes being side hustle, or a business on the side, or rental property income, all of these things. What I'm telling you is that is one of the biggest mistakes that someone can make, is mixing their personal and business finances. I'm telling you, it's one of the biggest things. It's key to separate your finances really for 3 reasons. Number one, it helps you make sure that your side hustle is profitable. If you are funding your side hustle or business or whatever out of your hard-earned money and it's not profitable, you're not going to see it as fast as had it been separate, right? You're not going to see it as fast. So that's the number one thing, is it will help you identify when your side hustle is not profitable. Number 2, it's going to make tax time easier, because you're going to be able to separate what you spend on your business and what you spend on your personal. Okay. The third thing is it keeps you organized and prevents overspending in your business and in your personal life. Okay. So those 3 things. Imagine if you're making $1,000 a month on selling handmade crafts on Etsy or something, but you're spending $700 in supplies and ads, you're only making net $300. You're grossing $1,000, but you're netting $300. If you don't track that, you probably think you're making $800 or $900 of the $1,000, right? But you're not, because you weren't tracking that. You weren't keeping up with, what am I spending on the business and what am I spending personally? It's very, very important. It's very, very important. So one thing I was going to talk about, or I was going to show you, is I've done episodes on budgeting in the past. I just got an email on this, literally, just got emails. It was weird timing, but Quicken just released. So, if you watch my budgeting video and what I recommend Quicken Simplify as the top budgeting app. For one, it's not super expensive, and it has a lot of the things that I loved about Intuit Mint before they did away with Mint for budgeting. And they have a lot of the features that I loved about Mint built into it. And it has a lot of things that Mint didn't have that I enjoyed or that I wanted, and they built it in. So I love Quick and Simplify as a budgeting app. Now, I just got notification that they have adopted this new business and personal design, which allows for you to break these items up and focus more on everything that's driving around in the business to make sure that you're becoming profitable, right? So brings in everything about Quicken Business and Quicken Simplify, puts it into one. It looks like it's on sale right now for $3.99 a month. Probably if you pay annually, I'm guessing, build annually. But you can manage them out of one app, but separate, which is really cool. Really cool. It'll track your business income and expenses separately. It'll do your cash flow reports. You can watch growth in your business. You can watch growth in your personal life. You can invoice and has a payment tool. So you can, if you're selling things, you can invoice out of it. All of those things. It is really, really cool. Simplify is a great personal budgeting app. And now that you have this additional little component that you can add to it to bring these things together, man, totally worth looking into to do exactly what it is that I'm talking about. Separate your business and personal. So designed for the self-employed and small business owners, powerful tool, automated features, all those things. Just really, really cool thing. I'm not paid by Quicken. I'm telling you right now. So this is not a paid sponsorship. This is not something I love the product. And I couldn't recommend it more. Okay. So if you want to look for a tool that will allow you to do what I'm going to cover here in just a moment, Quicken's a great place to look. It's not the only tool, right? Not the only tool. But what I tell people to do is make sure that you're splitting the two. And with Quicken Business and Personal, you can manage both personal and business finances in one place, but still keep them separate, which is exactly what my recommendation is for anyone. If you're doing a side hustle, you need to manage them separately, because this way you'll always know if your side hustle is truly profitable. So how can you do that? How can you make sure your side hustle is profitable? So we covered the importance of tracking your finances. I want to talk about ensuring you're actually making money. The first thing that you need to do to make sure that you're actually making money is you need to keep your overhead expenses low. So you want to avoid putting too much money into tools and marketing up front. The key is to organically grow your business without putting tons and tons of personal capital into this. Now, could it go faster if you did a lot of marketing and a lot of upfront building? Sure, maybe it does. But that's not the key. The key is to make additional cash, maybe a lower overhead cost up front to grow the business a little bit slower, more conservatively, but growing nonetheless may be the wiser option. Okay. So avoid spending a ton of money up front, avoid putting too much money into tools and marketing up front, and just keep those overhead expenses low. So that's number one. The second thing is reinvest your profits wisely. So when income starts coming in a side business, what people tend to do is start to try to upgrade, get more and more and more. This is going to make my business grow faster. If you'll stop, slow down, hold up, upgrade tools only when your income justifies it. Make sure you start to put enough money aside so that you can build and grow this business, right? The number one thing that you need to be striving for, like goal one when you're starting a side hustle, is to first get your business to be self-sustaining, right? Get your business to be self-sustaining. What you don't want to do is outgrow your business, right? So you have more expenses, and so you have to start funneling personal cash just to make your business stay afloat. That's when your business is not profitable. And you'll notice that when you separate your business expenses from your personal. Okay. So the number one thing you can do is reinvest profits wisely. And that's just making sure that you're not growing too fast. Don't grow too fast. Don't upgrade everything. Every time you get a new paycheck, don't spend it all. Okay. That's number two. Number three, to ensure profitability, is price your services correctly. Many times, many beginners upfront undercharge, right? The key is they need to make sure that their rates cover their cost and they make a profit. Now, this is where it gets interesting. it's okay to make your services slightly cheaper to attract customers, right? Because if you go right out of the gates and charge a lot of money, there's a good chance that you're not going to get many customers, right? You just don't have the longevity, you don't have the experience, you don't have the reach, you don't have any of these things. The key is to make sure that you price yourself at a valid point that will be attractive enough for new customers, but also beneficial to you for your time, right? You still want it to be beneficial to you for your time. So price your services correctly. It's key. As you begin to not have enough time to support the amount of customers that you're getting, raise your cost. Now you will start to decrease the amount of customers that you get, but you'll make more money per customer. So now you got more money. The last thing I tell you to do is find your best marketing channel. Don't pay for ads until you test some organic methods like social media, word of mouth, things like that. Don't just start funneling into Facebook ads and Twitter ads and all that thing. Just start looking for some of these organic growth options and really start to drive in that direction. So if your side hustle requires a lot of upfront investment like equipment and materials, make sure you're keeping track of how long those take to break even, because your side hustle should start paying for itself as soon as possible. Okay. So like I said, and I talked a little bit about this, but when should you start to scale your side hustle? When should you start to scale it? Well, when you're making consistent profits for 6+ months, maybe it's time to start scaling a little bit, right? If you have a demand that exceeds your time capacity, increase your cost so you can decrease demand and continue to make same profit, right? Supply will decrease. I said that all backwards. If you'll increase your cost, you'll decrease supply, right? Because you're not going to be selling as much because your demand is going to go down, but you're going to make more money per sale. Okay. So you need to make sure that your time is being valued and you're making sure that people are still wanting you at that price. But if you're getting overworked and it's becoming not so valuable, think about it. If you quit, you make $0. If you up your costs and decrease the amount of customers that you have, you're going to still be making money, right? So keep adjusting your cost until you get to a threshold of request, of demand that you can sustain. Now, the last thing I was going to say is your side hustle income, if it starts getting close to your main job's income, you're really doing great, right? You're really doing great. Maybe your primary employment switches to be more of a part-time gig, right? Maybe you find something like lower time commitment for the insurance or whatever the case is. But that's when you're really starting to grow that side hustle and it's really starting to become a business. Because if you're making $300 a month consistently and your expenses are only $500, you're in a great position to get ready to start potentially switching this to full time. But if your income is still like wildly fluctuating, you may need more time. The key is to make sure that you are getting consistent returns for 6+ months before diving off into this becoming a full-time gig. So there you have it. Hopefully you got something out of this because I think that side hustles are the greatest way to build wealth. It teaches you a lot of lessons along the way that you may not have learned elsewhere. But B, those little additional payments, even if it's a couple $100 a month, right? I'm not telling you have to make $3,000 a month. If you're making an additional $200 to $500 a month, you can really start to get ahead when it comes to building wealth, when it comes to investing, when it comes to growing in your net worth. It is crucial. So the key here is that you pick a side hustle that works for you. Some of the most profitable ones out there may not be what you're driving towards, right? And if you're not wanting to do it, you're not going to do it, okay? So this, most importantly, pick something that you enjoy. And the second most important thing is track your income and expenses. You need to make sure you're actually making money. If you're barely breaking even and you're putting a lot of time into it, you should probably rethink it, right? You should probably rethink it. Make it worth your time, okay? So if you're serious about turning your side hustle into a real income stream, start tracking your finances. Like I say, Quicken Business and Personal, it's a great place to start. But if you're not sure where to start, go do that Ramsey side hustle quiz to get ideas. But the key here is find something that works for you. So if you enjoyed the episode, hit the like button, subscribe for more personal finance tips. Drop a comment below. What side hustle are you considering after listening to this episode? Really interested in seeing some of the ideas that are out there. Maybe you just started a side hustle and you jumped into this just to figure out, hey, how do I make it more profitable? What is that side hustle? What is it that you're going after right now? So thanks for joining in. Really appreciate it. Till next week, continue improving the one thing you can control, yourself. Peace.
Well, that wraps up today's Financial Mirror. Join us next week as we continue to work on ourselves, change our mentality, and to commit to achieving the success we always envisioned. Regardless of your platform, help us grow as a community. Please like, subscribe, and share with the people in your lives.